you know, you might look at a suit and think, oh yeah, I'll budget that for it, but actually does it include everything? And linking it to the who's in the party, are they going to buy their own? Are you going to pay for it all?
Hi everyone, we're back with season 2 of WEDPOD, featuring top tips and advice from expert wedding suppliers to help you with your wedding day.
Today's episode features Stephanie Norris of Adams Menswear.
Stephanie chats all things suits and tailoring, including when to buy and what to factor in when buying your suits.
Listen to the latest episode and be sure to subscribe to hear when the next one drops. Enjoy!
Hi, we're here today at Scotty's Bar in Sisset and we're meeting the lovely
Steph Norris from Adams Menswear. Hiya, Steph.
Morning, ladies.
And you're going to be talking today all about suits.
Yes, I am.
So do you want to give us just so everybody knows, just a little rundown of what you do and where you are, and then we can begin?
Yeah, certainly. So I'm from Adams Menswear. We have 2 stores. So we have one in Ilkley and we have one in Cleckheaton. We've been around now for 15 years. We originally started in formal wear, higher wear, just higher wear, and then we moved into what I call retailing, so selling suits as well as hiring, probably about 8-9 years ago, something like that. It seems forever, so I forget how long. And we are a retail store. You can walk in any time. We specialise in weddings, so we do run an appointment system, but we sell suits and hire suits for lots of other occasions.
We're going to be talking about the who, why, where, when, and wonga. I like that word. It's a good word.
A bit of wonga.
I was trying to think of something that would bring the money side into it, because I think it's really important, isn't it? So we have these dreams and aspirations of what we want for our wedding very specifically, but we do need to think about the cost of it all.
So if you're going to the who then, what do you class as the who in the conversation?
So I'm really thinking here about who you're going to have in your wedding party, because that will help you work out whether you want to maybe hire, whether you want to buy, you know, how big your party is, so who are you going to have in it essentially. You know, have you got children in there, have you got granddads and uncles and brothers, so how big or small is it really, and also shapes and sizes as well, because you know we're in a world where men are becoming more conscious about what they look like, what they wear, which is absolutely fantastic for us, and that's brilliant. So I'm a big advocate of that. But you do need to think about your party, so that's really the who's going to be in your party.
And then you can make that decision.
You've got a lot of different shapes of people. Like my husband he's got quite a rotund stomach, but his brother is really slim. So they would need, I'm guessing, totally different kinds of suits that would sort of flatter the figure, I would imagine.
Absolutely. And for us, one of the things that I feel really strongly about is, to me, it doesn't really matter what shape or size you are. Everybody has the right to feel amazing. And so
I love that.
And so our sort of background and knowledge, specifically specialising in the wedding sector, is finding lots of choice in colours, styles, price points that suit those different shapes and sizes.
I'm guessing then if I might be deterring off it.
No,
if you've got lots of different shapes and sizes and they want to hire them, do you have a selection then? So if somebody were going out, they could have a selection. So if they wanted this type of suit, you could have one and then tailor it to that person, or you've got that selection already? Yeah,
so you wouldn't tailor higher wear, but what we do have and how we work around that is we have what I describe as fashion-led suits. So you'll see them in magazines everywhere. So the checks, the tweeds. Excuse me, still quite popular. A lot of those faster movers and colour schemes as well. A lot of those when I say faster moving, I'm talking faster moving over a couple of years.
Like it's a trend that's not going to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. So it might run for 2 or 3 years, for example. They come in a regular fit. So sometimes it can be quite tricky and quite difficult making sure that fits all the party, all those different shapes and sizes. And if you've got kids in there as well.
Totally.
So particularly where you've got dads who've got their sons and they want little mini me's, or mums who've got the sons, little mini, something like this. I mean, these start from age 1, so how do you fit something like this in an age 1 to somebody who's kind of in their 30s, and then you've got somebody in their 50s as well. So they come in quite a wide sizing scale. However, they only come in a regular length, so that's where the challenge might come into it. Now in higher wear, you would alter the leg length, so if somebody's a 28 for example and somebody's a 36, that's absolutely fine. But when it gets to the jacket, and waistcoats are really easy as well, but when it gets to the jacket, it can be a little bit more difficult. So in that scenario, there's a lot of options around what we call mix and match. So you could part hire and part buy, and a lot of people don't realise that that's available.
I didn't realise you could do that. I thought you had to go one or the other when you're wearing suits.
So you can blend the two together.
That's clever.
Yeah, it is.
So a really good example is, it's quite trendy at the minute to go to the gym and start running marathons and all these sort of fantastic things.
It is a big thing now, but I think that's a lot to do with YouTubers. Because everybody's body confident now, and so it's quite. There's quite a lot.
And it's back to that feeling amazing as well as looking amazing. If you sort of tuned in, healthy and all that sort of thing, and got a bit of a muscle going on, then you sort of feel amazing. So you wear your suit with confidence. So back to the point of mix and match. In that scenario, the guy could have, it doesn't really matter whether it's the groom or the best man or your brother or your friend, he could have the jacket tapered so it's a better fit than just taking it off the peg and walking out with it. But then he could hire the rest of the items, so the waistcoat, the trousers, the tie and whatnot, and that kind of thing. So you're not buying it outright, but you're just buying a part of it to still get that fantastic look. And then somebody else in your party, it might fit absolutely perfectly, and they could hire or buy if they want to keep it, obviously.
So people can mix and match. They can hire.
Absolutely.
They can mix it with buying a jacket and having it tailored.
Absolutely. Then some of the other garments that are available in our higher wear collection, and other stores available, by the way, because I'm talking very general here. So there are what I call more, not traditional tailoring as in the suit and the garment is old-fashioned, but it's tailoring where it's a suiting company rather than a fashion brand. So it's all about the quality of the cloth, the quality of the garment, etc., etc. So yes, it might be a slightly higher price point, not much more, a little bit more, but you've got garments that are available in short, regulars and longs. So of course they could be a little bit more accommodating, where you've got different heights, and again still in kids. So all our higher wear comes in adults and in kids as well. So you're not going to look around and go, that one's nice, but you can't have that one if you've got kids in it. Whichever one you're looking at, you can have kids in it as well.
So that's the difference. So I guess it's we go to wear. I think that's a good one to go to.
So wear, I suppose there's two sides to this. So the first one is about the venue. So thinking about what matches and complements your theme and what your venue is. You get some real rustic venues these days, but they've got a real modern twist to them. So you might want to think about how you've got to imagine what you're going to look like in all your attire, bridesmaids, bridal, all the rest of it in that setting. And sometimes people find that a little bit difficult, so we try and show photos of previous weddings and things like that. But think about your venue as well as the who. How's it all going to sit together nicely?
It's weird because the wear is not something that I would ever even think about.
Well, you've got people getting married abroad.
You will, aside from getting married abroad, but I think if you've got, if I like it, I'd just get it. But then whatever you're wearing, if you're getting somewhere rustic and what you're wearing is like a formal suit, it's not going to look right at all, is it?
I get for getting married in England.
In England.
And to give you a few examples, so I hope this podcast is going out after this wedding has happened, but we've got because I love the individuality of all our grooms and our couples and how they we make their vision come to life essentially, but it's their ideas, it's their choice, it's their colours. We just help them on that journey. But some of them, I absolutely love the stories behind them. We've got a guy who's having a purple suit with quite an unusual design on it. Obviously it's made to measure, but I can't wait to see the pictures. They're not married yet, but it's just going to be absolutely fantastic. But then equally there's a couple, Gemma and Billy, they're in the magazine actually. So they had black tie, very on trend. Very on trend at the minute. They got married abroad in Cyprus. Now, if somebody said to you, we're wearing black suits and we're getting married abroad in Cyprus and it's going to be really warm, you just said, well, really, will that work? But how we styled it and how we put it together, so we thought about the cloth. So the shirts were 100% cotton as opposed to kind of cheap and cheerful polycotton shirts where you're just going to be warm in them.
Yeah, because I always think linen. Do you know when you get married abroad, you always think it's got to be linen, but...
Yeah, so how fantastic is that? Yeah. And that's black tie abroad.
I was surprised when I saw it, black tie abroad, but it just worked.
Really, works amazingly. Really well.
And that's because you use a cotton that helps keep you cooler.
So just lighter fabrics. Yeah. And then thinking about the fit of it as well. So, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of those platforms are absolutely fantastic for all our businesses out there, whatever sector you're in, and we need them. But sometimes people look at pictures and they're very staged, and so you can see a guy in a suit like that, and he can't and he looks absolutely amazing, but he's a bit bionic, you can't actually, it's not practical. So in this example here, you've still got lots of style, you've still got lots of shape. I mean, how gorgeous is that?
It looks fantastic.
Absolutely stunning, isn't it?
So do you know because I know you do tailoring as well.
We do.
And it's, as you said, more men are becoming more conscious about what they're wearing, just as much as a bride now. Yeah. And we see it every day. Do you find that it's just the groom that might have a tailored suit, or do you find that it's more the old party?
In recent years, it's the whole party.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you think going back when we first started, 12, 13, 14 years ago, when we were primarily, it was higher wear, formal wear. You had your nice pictures and all the rest of it. You shared it around the family, and everybody bought a few snaps and all the rest of it. Yeah. Now it's all over social media.
Everybody wants.
Everybody wants. I mean, how many times do you see sort of people with they get the phones out and and we do it ourselves, don't we, in our everyday life? Look what I had for lunch and look what. So imagine that amplified scenario of it's a wedding. There's no rehearsal. No. You can't rock up and say, let's take some pictures and see how we look, and then tweak a few bits. The day is captured by people getting their phones out and taking pictures, and then the professionals who are out there, your photographer, your videographer, your social content people, and all that sort of thing. So absolutely everybody wants to be the best and look the best that they can be. Even the kids, the young kids.
I guess as well, when a man does get a tailored suit, it's something they've got for a long time. Whereas if you hire one, it goes back. Whereas if you get a tailored one, it's not something you just wear for your wedding. You can wear it forever, kind of thing.
It is. And in the last 12 months, what I've seen quite a lot of is where guys, obviously if it's higher wear, it's a different scenario, but if you're buying it, let's say the groom is buying his and other people might be hiring, there might be a specific colour scheme or a specific style of a waistcoat, so he can stand out a little bit differently, and it's on point with what the bridesmaids are wearing, or match the bouquet of the bride and that kind of thing, or the buttonhole if it's two grooms. That we married a couple of guys, Mark and Daniel, their pictures again on socials. I don't know if you guys have shared them, but they had a Mexican theme and it was really vibrant.
I can remember
them?
Some pictures.
I did. Really vibrant orange and vibrant pinks. It were absolutely gorgeous. And in the evening, they had some makeup artists came and painted all the faces as if they were in what do they call a skull thing in Mexico? And it looks absolutely amazing. But their two suits, if you take away all that element of it for the wedding, they had two nice navy checked suits that they could wear again. You probably wouldn't wear them at the same time, obviously, but they've got two nice navy suits that they could put the three-piece waistcoat with it as a matching, and then they got these extra bits to sort of vum up their colour, and it was just
it looked amazing.
It was absolutely fabulous, their pictures.
That's the kind of wedding you want on your books, isn't it? Those kind of photos.
But
you need something. I always think people want to stand out, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing these days. Everybody wants to be different.
Yeah.
They do. I always describe the suit is your sort of base outfit. So if you think of us three ladies sat here, we were going somewhere special to a wedding, to the races or a christening or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we get our main outfit, don't we? And then we dress it up a little bit. We might put something in our hair, and we might buy a new necklace or nice bracelet, and we get some matching shoes and a little handbag, and we tot around and all the rest of it.
Your look.
Guys are no different. Guys are no different.
No.
So the suit is the base of the outfit, and then you add things onto it. So it might be a pocket watch, it might be certain style or colour of cufflinks, it might be a coloured shirt rather than a white shirt. So there are other things other than the three-piece suit and a tie to sort of bring it, really bring that colour out there.
It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
because
it
you
is.
never think. I mean, me looking back from when I got married, my husband just went, I had a suit, because it weren't that kind of thing then. The man never was sort of centre stage as much, but they are now.
They are now.
So
Absolutely.
I think to think of it that it is your base layer like a woman, and then you can add the bits in. It works really good.
So I remember doing wedding fairs, talking about wedding fairs specifically, doing wedding fairs. I mean, of course, I've done for 20 odd years because I was involved in ladies' wear before as well. There was loads of ladies wear around, loads of bridal, all that kind of thing, and there were very few menswear out there. Now it's almost like the tables have turned. So sometimes there's more menswear out there at these events, or definitely equal to what there is ladies and bridal wear as well, and that just gives you an indicator.
It does. We've definitely noticed that.
Yeah, we have.
That the grooms now are wanting that suit. They're wanting to be like, just like with the bride. They want
their
have,
time in the spotlight, don't they? And rightly so, because it's one half of the couple getting married. And I think if they can have that freedom to do what they want to be a bit more individual, then why are they not going to do that?
We've got when, which I think we kind of cover a bit with where they're going on holiday, but like the when is for what time of year, I'm guessing. Yeah,
and when to start buying it. So that's a big question that everybody asks us all the time. When should I start looking? When do you think I should start sorting my suits out? Is the sort of question. So my message is start looking at the suits early on when you start looking at the dresses.
How early are you thinking?
I would say start researching 6 to 12 months before the date of your wedding, because you've got seasons to think about that we'll come on to. But also you've got so many choices. You've got the buy, the hire, you've got who's in your party, who's not in your party. Working out a budget. So if you start doing research early on, it will help you formulate that budget. I mean, how many times do we hear these stories where people say, my budget was this, but actually I've got
spending a lot more.
So I think that money's got to come from somewhere, hasn't it? So start doing research early. In terms of physically buying your suit, I would say 3 to 6 months is about the right time scale.
Is that both for hire and made to measure, or would made to measure be a bit?
I would say yes, but for bespoke and made to measure, I wouldn't leave. It's nearer to the 6 months, so that's why you kind of got that window of opportunity, really. So bespoke and made to measure, there is a difference between the two of them, but they can take anywhere between about 8 to 12 weeks, depending on the time of year. If you're ordering something in November or December, people still do get married at that time of year, but the majority of them are between February and September. So if you're ordering something now and you get married in August, yes, it will absolutely be there, but it will be closer to the wedding. So I would do the 6 months, but you could get away with 3. For hire wear, you'll be absolutely fine up to 3 months. Some people like to order it earlier so that it's a job done and it's ticked off. So again, going back to how things might have been even probably 5 or 6 years ago and how it is today, you'd sort the dress out, you get the bridesmaids colours and and all the rest of it. More and more we're finding people are coming in and I'm saying, we say, what's your colour scheme? And it gives us, because we want to understand some of their choices so that we can help narrow down the options, otherwise it's a minefield, really. So when we're asking those questions, those initial questions, where you're getting married, when is it, who's involved, have you got any colour schemes, a lot of people are saying, we haven't got our bridesmaids dresses yet, or we haven't finalised our colour yet, till he's decided on his suit.
So it really has done a 360.
Really interesting, really interesting.
Just on that then, because obviously the guy's going to buy his suit, and we all know that when somebody's getting married, they hate the gym, they hate the diets, and they want to look the best they can. Is it a bit like when somebody buys a wedding dress, they get it, but then they go for a final fitting? Do the men have that option as well? Because obviously they'll
fluctuate, won't they?
Well, yeah. It's very similar, to be fair.
Is it?
It is, yeah. I mean, we do have guys who walk in and, they get married in 2 weeks, buy a suit and off they go. So that does happen. I can't say it doesn't. But the majority of people, it's in a planned sort of scenario. Where you've got guys who are going to do exactly what you've just said. And I'm not a weight loss expert at all. But losing a few pound here and there is not really going to make any difference to how you suit. Size is going to alter or not. What it might do is that if it's a little bit snug when you put it on, it's probably going to be a little bit more comfortable. But you're probably not going to change size. We're very fortunate because we have an in-house alteration workshop that you can sort of see through this glass wall. You can see the guy, our staff working away on suits.
Was he on display?
It is. A bit like the chef when he's cooking up your supper. So similar sort of. We nicked the ideas and some of that.
If you can adapt it and it works, I think that's a great idea.
So we're very fortunate in that we can measure somebody. So you imagine if you've got 6 people or 10 people or 4 people, or it doesn't really matter how many's in your party. If you are going to the gym, want to lose a few pound, so don't want to order your suits, I mean nobody else can get theirs sorted either. So we would encourage you to still plan what you're going to have, still move forward with it, get measured, but then you can get remeasured and have any alterations and fittings done about 4 weeks before your wedding.
Right.
So
what fashions are you seeing that's quite prominent at the moment? You mentioned before that the fashions can last, is it 2 to 3 years?
Yeah.
I guess because I've noticed that they change a lot. So if people are ordering, they don't really have to worry about a style going, and that's something that can be advised on.
So this is where the 3 to 6 months and the 6 to 12 months comes in really. So there are what we call core suits, and you might hear that terminology quite frequently, especially if you're visiting a couple of stores or you're doing, you're going around a few wedding fairs. So core suits are those that will run year on year on year on year on year.
I heard a story of from another customer. They've turned up literally on the morning of the wedding and gone, have you got a suit? Or I don't have any shoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you
had that as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
On the wedding day?
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be the groom, but it might be, a brother or something like that. I'm going to a wedding.
I'm a bit nervous.
Yeah. And you get other scenarios where people have travelled up. It happens a lot in our Ilkley store, actually. People have travelled up from, somewhere else in the country, and they forgot the tie or the shoes or the shirt or, they've put the suit in but left the trousers. And
have you got any horror stories then?
I need to write a memoir, don't I?
You do, because couples I know that love hearing about stuff like that.
I don't think I have got any horror stories, because don't just me.
The groom's turned up and gone,
help
suit's
me.
not there, or it doesn't fit, and I'm getting married tomorrow.
I've never not had a suit turn up to a wedding. It might be a bit last minute, but don't jinx me. I think the biggest ones that we get all the time from ours is on the back of our suit carriers. We have a zip at the back of it, and that's where you put the accessories, right? So it might be the tie, cufflinks, or whatever. And even though we show everybody, I just think, do I need to write it down on a piece of paper?
This is where it is.
Because the number of people are in and say, I haven't got my tie, have you looked in the back? No, have you really looked in the back of it? And it turns up.
I'm going to mention now the Wonga.
Yes.
Because that is a massive bit that I think people really need to think about, and you can factor it in early in the wedding process, especially if you're buying or you're having something tailored.
Yeah, and that goes back to the research thing. If you're looking earlier, you'll get an insight into what sort of prices you're going to get for different, different suits and different hire options as well. So some people might think that hiring a suit, is going to be £100 or something like that, but actually it depends on the quality of the garment.
What
so you have to think about that.
Do you know, sort of to give people an idea price wise, if you're going to hire one, what would you say in a budget people need to think about?
So The sort of mid-range, if you like, is between about 120 and 150 pounds. So you'll get a really nice suit for that. That's a 3-piece. So remember, don't forget about the ties, the shirts, the shoes. You know, you might look at a suit and think, oh yeah, I'll budget that for it. But actually, does it include everything?
Yeah.
And linking it to the who's in the party. Are they going to buy their own? Are you going to pay for it all? I'm not so much recently, but I have heard lots of stories where people come in and we'll give them, you know, the budget and the pricing for it all, and we'll quite often say to them, who's paying for it? And so we haven't had that conversation yet.
They need to have that early then.
Have those conversations when you're working out the who bit and you're doing the research, because again, you know, when I said it makes the journey much more smoother and much more simpler, the last thing you want to be doing is stood in a suit shop with 8 guys and going, who's paying for this lot then? And the guys and the guys start to shuffle backwards like this weekend. Oh, you haven't really asked me about that. I'll just see what happens. Who gets the wallet out first?
Pick the most expensive 3-piece stuff and like,
Grooms really need to then have that an awkward one, but have that conversation really early on in the planning process. Guys, if you're going to buy your own, or you're going to hire your own, or we're going to cover it.
And it's not awkward if you think about it. You know, think about what's your budget, how much you want to spend on your whole wedding. You know, portion a part of the budget to it, and then have your conversations with your guys. It's not awkward at all, but it is if you leave it when you're studying a suit shop and you're studying something that, you know, is
a big bill
absolutely. So have a think about your budget before you start shopping. It's a bit like going into a sweetie shop, isn't it? And or going car shopping and wanting one with all the buttons on, but when you realise that it's £5,000 more for that fancy paint, then you go, perhaps I'll just have white. Same kind of thing, isn't it?
And I guess it's like anything. If you buy a dress, you know that when you've got the shoes and the accessories, they can actually add up to quite a lot as well.
It can be more sometimes than the baseline garment.
So if you're looking to hire one, then it might be £150 on average, but you might have another £150 in accessories.
Well, you've got like cufflinks, shoes, ties. You know, all that extra stuff that, like you said, can add up to a lot more than actually what you pay for the suit.
So it's a good thing to think about, because they'll think, it's only £150. It's not.
And times it by 5 people or 10 people, or, you know, these are big numbers. This is not, you know, just one person buying an outfit, and, you know, it can add up to quite a lot of wonga.
A lot of wonga.
So then, so that's higher, and you mentioned then people can sort of buy off the peg. What would you give like an average price? I mean, obviously accessories are going to cost roughly the same, unless you want to go for something more expensive. So I guess the next then is to go for buying off the peg.
So off the peg suits range from about £200 to £300. If you've got that kind of budget for your 3-piece, you'll get something really nice. You'll get options in sort of colours. You'll get options in kind of a tailored fit or a tapered sort of slim fit, but the chances are, a strong chance are, you're going to need some alterations on it. So again, factor that into it. You know, so it's not, when you look at the cost of a hem, it's not massively expensive, and if you've got people in your family that can do your alterations, then that's winner, isn't it?
It is. What would you you mentioned pricing for alterations, what kind of price does that run from or around?
So again, for the groom, you're less likely to have just a hem done. You might have some tapering in part of that tailoring package. You might have your jacket tapered and that kind of thing. So you're literally going to be anywhere from about £20 hours. I mean, a hem's £16.50. Okay, so but the chances are you will need more, especially if you buy one of the fashion-led suits, because they all come in a regular length. So if you think about hem on your trousers, a little bit of tapering, you might want your jacket altering. You know, you're going to be somewhere between £50 and £60 in that sort of region. So I have seen it where guys absolutely love a particular suit, but it needs quite a lot to get a really nice fit for them. That where it might be about £80-90. It is at the extreme, I have to say. But you can get those instances.
But when you go back to sort of when I got married, it will literally go when you get the suit. Never even
shirt came with it.
Shirt came with it. If it fit, it fit. If it didn't, you put up and shut up.
And it's back to that. we're all more conscious about how we look and how we feel about how we look, aren't we?
Yeah.
So it's back to that, all that tiny detail. So again, I don't, the high street, we all love it, we all need it, but it's that difference between buying a suit from over there, getting your shirt over there because it's cheaper and all the rest of it, as opposed to packaging it all together and working with somebody who's going to look after you and show you how to wear it. And it's not necessarily about this is how you wear a suit, it's about how it works best for you. If somebody's really hot, there's a hot board as I would describe it, there's absolutely no point putting you in something that's super tight. You're just going to be burning because you've got the excitement, the sort of emotional excitement of getting married in the first place, so you're already going to be a little bit warm in there. So
adrenaline running,
and that's the knowledge and experience that you get from going to a specialist. And when you look at guys and you see them and you think that suit looks amazing on them, I would say it would be where they've either had they'd be very lucky that they can walk in anywhere, put it on and look $1 million. But probably they've had somebody help them, or they've had it somewhere in the background or the history of wearing a suit, and they know what suits them, what complements their shape, and how to wear it. That's come from somewhere. So if you've never ever wore a suit in your life, or you've just chucked one on and gone out to a party or a wedding, for your wedding, different ball game, and it has to be sharp. And I'll give you an example of this. On Saturday, so I looked after a guy with his, it was Sunday, I looked after a guy and his groomsman on Sunday. He'd been in to store a couple of times, and when he came in, black tie and wanted something a bit different for himself, that's a sort of usual sort of picture, if you like. So I put him a few different suits on, and we've got quite a bit of space in our Cleckheaton store, so I took the groom just to one side of the fitting area and gave him a few different options, and I said to the lads, right guys, he was called Brad, I'm just going to put Brad in a suit because I want you to get that impression seeing him all in it rather than sat here watching him do his tie and he's getting his trousers on and struggling to fasten his shoelaces and all those kinds of things. So I sort of took him into one of the fitting areas, put him a combination on that would make him stand out from the others. It wasn't too wacky, but it was just had an edge on it. Put a few pins in here and there to explain how we could get a really nice fit on it. And when he walked around the corner, and this is no word of a lie, when he walked around the corner, one of the guys said to him, "Oh, that's the dogs. You've got to have that suit."
That's the reaction you want,
it's like revealing your dressing.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. So, and the guys all had sort of regular dinner suits, again, quite nice looking, but he was the standout out of the group of them. And at the end, he said to me, "Do you know, I'm so glad I came and I did it like this, because when I came the other week, I came with the kids and they were, running around, so we got a bit of space. I'm running around and they were just doing my head in, and I'm so glad I did it like this." Now he's gone away with such a nice feeling in his belly of, this, can't wait to come back and get it fitted. And I said to him at the end, if you're brave enough, don't tell anybody what you've got, because, a dress, it's a given that nobody can see the dress. Because oh no, I can't talk about the dress, and and what's your dress like? No, I can't tell you. Well, I quietly encourage the guys to do that a little bit as well.
I like that.
So I wouldn't say don't tell your partner, and don't say I'm not telling you, because that will just freak them out.
Cause arguments probably.
But the brief was, we want tuxedos and we want this and we want that and we want the other. I said, look at the reaction you've had from those lads, and it's not even tailored to you. And you're not in the setting of the venue and all the rest of it. Imagine that on the day if nobody's seen your suit and your partner's not seen your suit. She's just going to walk down that aisle and you're going to be stood there looking like James Bond. Don't show the mate. And he said, I didn't think about that. I
like that. I never even thought, but why not?
Whether he does or not, we'll find out. But
you'll have to let us know.
Generally, they stick to it because there's that level of excitement about it, isn't there?
So we're going to finish off on one last one. The tailored. having one made to measure, just to go on the price bracket of that one.
Yeah, so you can buy one off the peg, have it tailored, get a better fit, and all the rest of it. When you go to made to measure and bespoke, then that's sort of the next level, if you like, of tailoring. So there's a difference between made to measure and bespoke. Made to measure principally is where the garment exists and there's lots of variations to it. So there's sort of, lots of different linings, fabrics, buttons. You can have different kind of collars, you can have some embroidery on it, you can have different fits. So you've got well over 100 variations to it. But principally, I would describe it as the block in the industry, if you like. So the block is already there, and then we're tweaking it and individualising it, if that's a word, to your preferences and style and fit, to get a really nice fit out of it. Whereas full bespoke it's a blank canvas. And you really are starting from scratch. There's no pattern, there's no anything. So it takes a little bit longer to do full bespoke from made to measure, but they're still a little bit lengthy. In terms of price, you can actually get a made to measure and you'll see them advertised out there on the market from about £300, £400. In all the years I've been in suiting, I have never done a made to measure or bespoke for that price, because the cloths are very plain. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them, but it's back to that looking and feeling amazing, and it's your wedding at the end of the day. So most people pick something that's got a little bit something about it. The price range in that scenario, it's all very cloth dependent, so it's a real difficult one, but it can be somewhere between about £700-800 up to about £1,000.
Right.
So if you're somewhere in that budget, including your shirt and things, then you're going to get a really nice made to measure suit for that. Bespoke just kind of tips over a little bit. Again, it's largely about two things: the process of bespoke, because you've a lot more involved in it, and then the fabric. So putting those two components together kind of just takes it up a notch a little bit. Price, I'd get you about £1,200 for that.
I guess, in a nutshell, there is something for everyone.
Absolutely.
Make sure you know who's coming in, decide your budget, who's going to pay. Because that's really important. And then apart from that, you need to go to somebody that's got some knowledge. And then it's going to make your process a lot smoother.
Absolutely. And for us, it doesn't really matter what your budget is, what your shape or size is. Our value is treat everybody as you're somebody special. So everybody deserves to feel $1 million. We've just got different budgets, and that budget will give you a slightly different suit, but it doesn't mean to say that you can't look amazing at the end of it.
That's brilliant.
That is a brilliant way to finish that podcast. Thank you very much for coming in, Steph.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
I need to go buy a suit now.
No, thank you, Steph.
You're welcome.
That's it for Season 2, Episode 1.
We'll be back soon with your next instalment of WEDPOD.
Until then, see you soon and happy wedding planning!